Anything to declare. Those are the first words that come out of a CBP when crossing the Mexico-United States border. 18,000 Border Patrol agents protect the border and inspect approximately 50,000 and 25,000 pedestrians across the border on a daily basis. The job of the CBP is to protect the border and the public from dangerous people. In the year 2019, there were 1 million CBP enforcement actions, which means if they see you suspicious, they send you to second inspection, which they do a background check, and they see if you're what you're carrying with you. Trying to smuggle drugs or a person into the States can generally range from 3 to 5 years to live in prison. Hello everyone, my name is Jorge Castillo Marroquin, and I will tell you 3 crazy stories that happened at the US-Mexico border from Daniel, Alan, and Brian. The first story is about a guy named Daniel. I went to high school with Daniel. We would cross the border every day, literally every day. One day, Daniel told his parents that he was going to a robotics competition held in the States. Daniel would always cross walking, but that day he asked if he could take the car, which was weird because we would never do that. Furthermore, Daniel meets with these unknown people from El Cartel at this famous plaza called Rio. They told him that he was only crossing money, nothing else. When Daniel got to Rio, he gave the keys to El Cartel, and they took his car so they could put the money in the car. Danny had no vision of the car. He didn't know what they were doing to it, so it was kind of sketch. After like 10 minutes, they brought the car back. And they told him make no stops and go straight to the border. After 2 hours at the border, one car before crossing, Daniel saw how the back of the windshield was getting foggy, and he feels like a weird movement. So Daniel started to suspect that he wasn't smuggling money. He was smuggling something else. Once again, anything to declare, the CBP asked. Daniel immediately responded, no. After that, the CBP just do a general inspection and opens the trunk and sees the money. So he goes to the driver's seats and asks Daniel if he speaks Chinese because there were 4 of them on the back. Daniel was a particular case. He did not receive any jail time, but he did receive an expensive fine. Daniel was a stupid kid. He was only getting paid $1,000, which our cartel was charging each and one of the Chinese $15,000 to cross the border. Alan was another friend from high school. After high school, my friend moved to an expensive condo in a big tower by himself. Alan wouldn't work and still lived there by himself, so all of our friends suspect that he was doing something, but we just didn't know exactly what he was doing. So we went to a camping trip, and after we came back, we did not hear anything from Alan, which was really weird because we're always in contact, messaging each other. So we were speculating a lot of things, like did he get kidnapped, did he get murdered, did he mess with the wrong people? We didn't know. We just called his girlfriend to see what was going on, and she basically didn't give us nothing. She just said that be patient. Later on, we received a letter from him explaining why he was in jail. Alan's job was to pick up pollos, which are illegal Mexicans, in Calexico and drive them to LA. He's only supposed to drop them off at a bus station, and after that, Alan is free to go. My boy Alan paid so he could be on probation before his court date. Unfortunately, my friend is still in jail, and he has 4 long years in front of him. My most exciting story is about a guy named Brian. I met Brian because he lives in my area here in TJ. There was a time when you would see Brian with brand new cars each week. Sadly, those days are gone for him. Brian would smuggle cocaine to the States, and he was very lucky because he would do it like non-stop and he would never get stopped. Somehow he would smuggle cocaine to the States without getting stopped. He was just lucky. He's the 1%, you could say. So it was a regular day for him at the border, smuggling cocaine like always. He made it with no problems again through the border. So he was heading to the warehouse to deliver the drug and pick up his money back. On the way back to TJ, Brian was stopped and was surrounded by police. The CBP knew that he was smuggling drugs into the States. They just let him go so they could find the base of their cartel. Without a doubt, Brian went to jail for a long time. In most cases, the CBP are going to stop you at the border and they're not going to let you go. But Brian was a special case. So many people cross the border every day. When you're at the border, you don't know, maybe the car next to you or behind you has 4 Chinese on their trunk. Perhaps you know an Uber who drives illegal immigrants. Or maybe the Border Patrol agents are gonna let you go, but stop you on the way back to TG. Finally, there are so many things going on at the southern border. Maybe one day you will be lucky enough to see it with your own eyes.